What's good, people? What's good? Welcome to the neutered channel. The channel where every time it gets a little bit bigger, I just stop posting. Oh, and there goes my battery. What's good on that battery? Yeah, the neutered channel. I don't know what to call it. Like, I'm not a growth at all cost type of dude. I'm not really a growth at all cost guy. Yeah, but I figured I'd post another one now that it just the channel calmed down. Should calm down on it. I'll probably go this way. Another walking video out here. Let me go this way. Yeah, but what's good? Project Capitalism. Project Capitalism, guys. How do you like Project Capitalism? Project corporations. I spent like the past few days I've been looking up random shit like on YouTube, like the pilgrims and the puritans, like they're the religious corporations they set up here. Like that's what the Massachusetts Bay Colony was, and then that other thing that like some other Puritans set up. Like they're all corporations. Like they're religious corporations, man. Dude, the whole history of, like, I don't really like most of this shit. Just the way I was learning it. Technically, that's just how people do stuff here, though. That's just how things are done here. So, like, it is what it is. Like, that's legit just how things are done here. And that's how they've been done since, like, the beginning, dude. Like, all of these, even just this settling of a bunch of areas on this like continent, on this land that we call like America now. Like a lot of the Europeans, they like chartered corporations. Like they had organizations that would go out and that's how they would do, like, because I guess how you're gonna live, right? So you need to like some way of kind of making money, something to work on, and then you go set out with like people to do it, and that's how it is. Like, so it's all, they call that, like, they call it a corporation. That's what they called it, the Massachusetts Bay Colony, like colonization. Dude, I'm just realizing that's how this shit works. So they did the same thing in like Nigeria probably too, like the way where like my family's from, they did the same. Like, I don't know, that kind of trips me up. I'm kind of just learning the history about that, but I'll learn it over time. It's like super stressful. And then I was listening to Noam Chomsky talk about like the world order. Like a lot of his videos are literally called, like a lot of his videos are called like the world order and stuff like that. Like, foundations of the world order is what, like, one of the videos I was watching, like the one that I was just watching before, like earlier today, when he covers like the United Nations, human rights, United Nations, IMF, like the World Bank. Dude, and this stuff used to be, it used to be like the crown. So back when the Massachusetts Bay Colony people were doing it, like the pilgrims and puritans and shit, back at that time, it used to be like the crown would, like the royal families and the crown would like give people, I guess, like the money or the gold or whatever, and then they would go out and like try to make like work for people, I guess. Like try to, like, I don't know if they would just go out and tell them to figure something out, or if they would have a plan to do what they were gonna do or something. Like, I don't know exactly how it worked. Let me climb this tree here. So I don't know exactly how it worked, but like, okay, yeah, I'm done climbing this tree. I don't have the shoes to climb the tree. Yeah, I don't know how exactly how it would work, but that's like what they used to do. And sometimes, okay, so even the Massachusetts Bay Colony, they didn't even have the permission of the king because they were trying to leave the Anglican Church. Because they didn't like how basically the king didn't like the Catholic Church because they told him they couldn't divorce his wife, probably among other things. And I think the king was like legit 17 or something. Like the king was legit like not even 20 years old, I don't think. And he was saying like he didn't like some of the rules, including like he couldn't divorce his wife or whatever. So he leaves the church, the Catholic Church, makes the Church of England, which the king is at the head of. So like what a church there, separation of church and state. That's probably why they did it, because that was like 100 or so years, like 150 years prior to, like 120, I don't know exactly, like prior to like the American Revolution. So no wonder they wanted church and state, because like it was the church and the state, like there were no separation. So he makes that, and then the people, they don't like that, so they come here to this place where like there's already like Native Americans here, there's already like Spaniards here, I think there's like French people here, I think there's other English people who had colonies of their own funded by crowns, like the crowns in their kingdoms or whatever, like Kingdom of Spain, Kingdom of like France, Kingdom of like England and stuff like that. So which way should I guess we'll go this way. They fund, so like they don't like, or maybe people just left because these people, like the Puritans and the Pilgrims, they weren't funded by the king. They left because they didn't like what the king was doing. So they left. And then they like created their own colony. I don't know how they funded that, but maybe pooled their money together. Like they just wanted to leave because, I mean, religious persecution, like they weren't getting what they wanted out of it. I don't know, like they didn't like the country anymore. I mean, because that's kind of a big deal if like now you don't, like they're not going out the Catholic Church. I mean, I don't know how it was back then, but religion was even bigger back then. So like I have no idea how big it was for them, but that was probably a big deal. Like people didn't like it that much to where they'd actually leave. Like, or maybe, and then obviously you just have young people in general who just want to leave and do something new anyway, like new opportunities. So it was probably a combo of all that shit. But like, yeah, so that's kind of like, so I've been looking up that, and that's just interesting. So it was massive, like they colonized here. So they came here and set up a colony, and then, I mean, we learned some of this stuff in school, like they almost died because they legit just didn't have food. Dude, that's insane, man. Like, I don't know if people just were more rugged back then, or if like they just really didn't like where they were living, man. Like I don't really know, but like they almost like a lot of them actually died. Like half of them died, and like the other half, like they got helped by some of the Native Americans that came back. The dude's named Squanto, among others. Like, I mean, you look into the story, there's probably more of them like than just one, but like, you know, I mean, that's the story they tell. Like the Native American came back and helped them, and then you have like the whole Thanksgiving shit later that happened because they actually had enough food to live. That's just insane to me, bro. Like that, I don't know, that's just kind of crazy to me. But, and that's like hard to grasp, but I don't know. But like corporations though, corporations, that's the type of shit. That's like how this place, like that's how a lot of things on this place started, dude. It's just companies and corporations, and I don't know, like I never really loved, like, to be like, I don't know, that's just how things are done here. That's how things are like broken up and separated here. I'm just trying to learn about that stuff. Like, so that's how things are, like that's how things are done. And then education, like the pilgrims, they took education really like very seriously. Technically the pilgrims were Puritans, I believe. And then they were like a smaller sect of Puritans. So the pilgrims, they were all Puritans, but not all Puritans were pilgrims, if that makes sense. Like pilgrims were a small sect of Puritans, from what I understand. So like, they believed in education. So like a bunch, because that's how they believed they were getting into heaven. I mean, think about that shit. No wonder people are like so into education here these days, dude. Because they legit believed that was the way like they would get into heaven. Like if they educated themselves, made themselves literate and read the Bible, like that's how they would spend a life, a lot of them. And not their whole life, obviously, but like that was a big part of it. Like more so than today, dude. I grew up religious, but I'm among one of the more religious like people I know. Like most people don't give a damn about religions, bro. Like, and they don't grow up like that because their family didn't either. So it is what it is. But I guess, and a lot of people back then, I mean, it was just the Puritans, the pilgrims that did. So they believed in education, and they built a lot of these schools, like these Ivy League schools that we call Ivy League now. They built a lot of those things like back then. That's why some of these schools are super old, like 1600s, 1700s, and 1800s and shit. That's why a lot of these schools are like super duper old. Even the university I went to, that shit was like that shit was built in the 1830s, man. Even the university I went to, that shit was built damn near fucking 200 years ago. There's a jackrabbit. I think it was built 200 years ago. That's kind of crazy, dude. I didn't really think about that when I was going. Like, I thought about it, but I didn't really grasp what that even meant. I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, but that's kind of wild. But yeah, man, like, companies and corporations. So they built that. They talked about education. They were really into, because that's how they thought they would get to heaven. And that's how they lived, man. Like very pious people, into the Bible and shit. Even my family is like, they're obsessed. They want education a bunch, at least my mom's side. My dad doesn't care nearly as much, like, but my dad cares about work and stuff. Like, so, I mean, and even that, like the work ethic, Puritans, like they worked a bunch. So that explains America a lot, dude. Because like everyone here works a bunch. At least they used to. It's not the same anymore, like I don't think, but they used to work a lot and read the Bible. Like that's how this country was set up, because those people have a long history here. You can, like, they trace, and they kept their own records too. So you can go back and look at all this stuff. You can go back and look, like, you might have lineage if your family's been here for a long time, like mine hasn't. There's that jackrabbit again. Mine hasn't been here a long time, but if your family's been here a long time, you might have roots back to some Puritans. Like, shit, I don't think. Dude, I'm just Nigerian. Like, for me, I need to learn more about how the British colonized Nigeria and go back there. Like, once I'm done learning about this stuff, like, once I finish learning about this a little bit, then I need to go back and learn about just colonization in general. Because that's like kind of how, that's like where my lineage kind of goes. So I'm just curious to know about that. Man, even my grandma's in Nigeria, dude. Like, she was here when I was growing up. So a lot of, like, the breaking apart of, like, families and stuff, and then, like, just tribes is interesting to me. Even among people that live here. So because everything is, like, built up the way it is, like, you even have break aparts here. So, like, you have school, you go to grade school, you go to, like, middle school, you go to high school, you go to college, university, because, that education, work ethic or whatever. Some people go off to work, and then move away or something for work, or like move away for school, and then you get the breaking apart of like the buddies you had growing up, you know. Like, I think it's good if you can keep some of those buddies together. Like, I hung out with like one of my old buddies a couple of times recently, and I just think it's good if you can keep that together. Like, if you can keep some of that together, then you're in like some decent shape. Like, if you don't have any of that, like, that's fucked. That's kind of what happened during COVID. I was like, wait, so like everything's fucked? Like, we're all fucked? That's what I was thinking during COVID, because like I wasn't hanging out with like basically any of my buddies. And I think that like did some like permanent damage. Like, so I think it's good to like be around some of your buddies, but like even then it's hard. Like, even in typical life, even if COVID didn't happen, a lot of people just get broken apart because like the way things are set up. And I'm trying to figure, is it like the corporation model? Like, what is it? You know, like, what is the model? Like, you know, what, or if there's any. Like, I guess life just happens also. So I'm trying to also determine how much of it's just biology, I guess. Dang, dude, there's a huge shortcut. I like come around here, and it's like a way different way than like this way, and like further below ground too. Like, this is actually like, I'm about to cross one of these bridges where I showed you that bridge from like way down under. So that's actually just interesting. And then that creek also goes through like, but it's that same creek that's like on the wooded side, and this is like a way shortcut. It's like a huge shortcut. And then there's like the basketball court down there. Yeah, man, it is what it is. Yeah, more activities to do, more shit to do. I'm just like doing shit. And then some of you guys on the Discord, bro, like, now I'm just gonna like talk about other shit. Some of y'all on the Discord, like, that's some of the most, not even my Discord, it's like another Discord, but that's legit some of the most depressing shit I think I've ever seen. Like, some of you guys, like, the way you guys talk, bro, man, like, something's wrong, dude. Something's wrong, and I don't know if it's like us or like you, or I mean, it's probably like, yeah, I was on that path the other day, but like, or just society or whatever. Like, dude, some of the most depressing shit I see on that Discord, man. Like, that's you know, that's crazy, bro. I feel like I got older talking to some of you guys, not gonna lie, just because. And I wanted to do it because, like, one, I wanted friends. Two, I couldn't believe people didn't have friends. And three, I mean, I guess you could call it exploration or whatever, but, like, damn, like, I don't know, man. That's some of the most depressing shit I feel like I've ever been a part of. Like, I don't know, man. There's got to be, like, life isn't that shitty. And we gotta have more connections between generations, man. And like, everybody gets broken up. I guess maybe sometimes you get bullied and stuff when you're a kid. But dude, that's crazy. Like, and I can't believe, like, I don't know if it's Russian, like, what's it called? Like, Russians are making bots and shit to like pretend that all these accounts are getting subscribers and getting views. There's a waterfall down there, so it might be like you hear the water rushing. But yo, like, there's no way everything's that depressing like all the time. Like, there's no way there's like no options anywhere. I mean, you got to be kidding me, bro. That's like some of the most depressing shit I've ever heard, is going on in those Discord chats, dude. And it's not even mine, because my Discord is basically dead at this point. Like, the people that are in it, you guys already know. Like, if you guys still watch these videos, like, mine is basically dead, but some of these other ones, dude, like, that's dangerous, some of that shit. And, dude, I get it, but I kind of get it, or maybe I don't. Like, that's also part of the reason why I'm talking to you guys, too. Like, I feel like I don't get most of it, because a lot of you guys are older than me. So I don't know, like, how things are that shitty. Like, things can get pretty shitty, you know, but I still have, like, my parents alive and stuff like that, so I don't know. Like, that's why I'm saying families and stuff, man. But that's all I, like, or, I don't know, some, like, interests and shit. Dang, what is that up there? Is that, like, a church? I'll hit that later. But yeah, dude, I don't really know what to say, though. Dude, like, I don't even want to do anything either, man. So I don't really blame you guys. Like, I don't really want to do much of anything. Like, most days I'm like, but that's why you gotta have, like, buddies at work or something. You gotta have, like, just buddies in general, if not at work. Fuck, dude, I don't really know. But then they say your social circle collapses more, like, when you're a dude. Like, your mid-20s are the height of, like, your social circle, they say, which a lot of these Zoomers are probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? But that's what I saw in this one video. It said, like, the height of your social circle is, like, your mid-20s for dudes. And then, like, it falls off after that, because, like, work and families, like, if you want to have kids, which a lot of people aren't anymore, but, like, work, and, dude, I can, like, work, man, you'll spend, like, half your waking day at work, and then if you go to school on top of that, which I'm about to do, maybe, like, I mean, it's puritans, bro. Like, going back to the beginning of the video, it's like the fucking pilgrims, dude. Like, it's, you know, it's just work, and that's how they made the whole world. So it's like, that's what people do. Like, it's work, and now work is considered something kind of different. Like, even I thought, like, work could just be what you do to live, which is true. Like, work is what you do to live. But, like, what you do for work might not have really anything to do with how you actually live. But, like, you need the money. You know, you need the money to actually live, like, to buy food. So work used to, like, when people farm, like, they used to just be like, hey, I mean, do you want to eat? Then, like, you work. Because, you know, like, you make food. But, like, now working, it's like, I'm not making myself food. But I'm still working, you know. I'm, like, making fucking cheap. I'm making, like, quote-unquote high-tech, which is, like, among the lowest tech I could even really imagine. But then it's just in so many things that's why it's high-tech. Like, the shit I'm working on, it's like, in so many things. That's why it's, like, quote-unquote high-tech. Because you can only put, like, a motor in so many different places. But that's, like, harder to understand than like a database or a blockchain. It's just like a database or like a blockchain, which is basically just a database, like, but you can't change the records. And, like, you hash the thing. Like, you could put that in just because it's, like, fucking, doesn't even exist. Like, that's why you can put it in every, it's like an imaginary number. Like, you can't, not literally, but you can't. That's why it's kind of funny to me. Like, it's just, you can put that in almost anything. It's just an abstraction. That's why people make so much money selling this shit, because it's just an abstraction. So, you know, I mean, but actually, I guess it kind of helps somewhat, like, because you can encode stuff, and then the stuff that you encode, that could be important. Like, that could actually be really important. So I guess that's why it's quote-unquote high-tech. But, I mean, my buddy was talking to me about a fucking car motor, dude. Like, I mean, like a car engine. Like, that's crazy to me. That's, like, more cool and crazier to me. And the fact that everybody has a car is huge. Like, everybody has a fucking car. Dude, I had another video that I deleted. I didn't post it. But where I was talking about everybody has a car. Like, dude, I have a car. I don't have a girl. I mean, I kind of have a girlfriend. Which is also why, damn, bro. Like, y'all. Dude, this is doomsday, bro. This is absolute doomsday. All I can say is this is doomsday. And, like, we're all screwed. If, like, relations are this bad, like, the internet sucks. Dude, I would just be... I mean, I can't even tell you what to do. So I'm not going to. Like, everything's really shitty if, like... Damn. Dude, this is crazy. Like... Yeah, but... Dude, I don't even... Like, whatever. But yeah, so... Yeah, so I kind of have a girlfriend. But yeah. But, like, so I have a car. Like, I kind of barely have... Like, there's just some things that I thought were more important to life in general. But, like, I have a car before that. So cars are really... They're either really important or, like, they're... Like, I mean, just the way things are set up. Like, cars are... Like, they're important and they're also luxury goods. So it just is what it is, dude. Like, and they're really interesting to learn about, too. Like, which is why that thing is more interesting than where, I mean... Like, it's kind of... There's a lot of things that are interesting, I guess. Which is also why I will discuss this in another video. But, like, America is, like, a male-dominated society. More than a female-dominated one. I'll just say that. Because there's so much shit to do that's, like, not even... Has nothing to do with your family. Like, has nothing to do with just other parts of life. Like, it's just random other shit. Like, you could spend all day dealing in abstractions and technically, like, you could get rich off of that. I don't know how... Like, that has... I mean, and it has something to do with humans, but, like, not physically, like, not really. Like, you know, you might not even see a human all day, but, like, you could make a ton of money off of it. And technically, you'd be successful, like, economically speaking, and, like, you could buy yourself other humans, like, to be around, like, kind of literally. And that kind of sucks, like, so I don't really want to say it that strongly, but, like, I mean, it is what it is. But, like, I'd rather have buddies than, like, have a family, though. Like, it just is what it is. Like, Generation Z's screwed. Like, try to get a millennial girlfriend, dude. Because Generation Z, both males and females, like, we're, like, socially neutered, man. So I would say get yourself a millennial girlfriend. Like, unless you just have a bunch of, like... Generation Z girls to choose from, then it is what it is. Like, dude, I fucked up with my Generation Z girlfriend, so... Like, and that was, like, partly my fault, too. That was, like, actually all my fault, so, like, fuck it. Like, millennial girlfriend, they can, like, I don't know, talk. And then plus, minus, like, in a different... It's, like, a weird situation. Like, I met her, like, she helped